Joe, I guess you can't hear me. I'm just talking away in there, wasn't I, Ken? Good evening, good afternoon, everybody. KTC Broadcasting, Best in Sports Talk Show. I'm Kevin Hastings, along with Kenny Lincoln, Addison Johnson today. And Addison will be joining us just a second. I'm going to sit down in the spot. Tim Johnson over there on WLON and folks today, listen for that. He is he is under the weather and will not have his music show today over at Lincolnton. Ken, what is on the docket today for the Best in Sports Talk Show as I get settled and get back in there?
Okay, let's first talk a little bit about the high school basketball playoffs. First round got underway last night all across the state. And just to go over some schools in our area, let's first start with the 1A, where we had Cherryville and Bessemer City both in action last night. Unfortunately, both teams lost. The only area 1A team that did win last night was the Lincoln Charter, and they beat Cherokee 79-38, and they will be playing North Stokes in the second round of the high school playoffs. Several area teams in action in the 2A playoffs. East Lincoln, who is the #1 seed in the western side of the 2A playoffs, with a big win over North Surrey, 95-49. Shelby, who is the #3 seed, defeated Bandy's 79-66. Maiden defeated conference foe Newton Conover 51-37, and South Point defeated Wilkes Central 89-80. Lincoln got beat by a good Mount Heritage team, 101-49. Yes, that's
my God!
52-point victory, folks.
Varsity basketball.
Varsity basketball,
Good
as Addison said, that was not good.
101-49.
That was it. Yes,
Wow,
they did hit the running clock. Yes, early in the fourth quarter.
Man.
And
They must have shut Chris down.
they did. They double teamed Chris Robinson a lot.
He didn't score 50 points.
He only had,
I
think he only had 12 points. I mean, they really hounded the whole game. And so obviously Lincoln didn't have Davis Grooms actually was the lead scorer for Lincoln and had 21 points.
That's good.
But they had size. They had a 6'9" guy, a couple 6'4" guys, and they were a good team. Also, Lake Norman Charter lost. Now, if you look into the second round, games that are this Thursday, Lexington will be playing at East Lincoln in the second round. That's tomorrow night. South Point, which defeated Wilkes Central 89-80, will be playing Whitmore, and they'll be at South Point.
This is second round, right?
Yeah, second point. I'm sorry, they'll be at Whitmore. Mount Pleasant will be playing at Shelby. And Maiden will be playing the Mountain Heritage team now.
Mount Heritage sounds really good.
After that game last night, and knowing a little bit about Maiden, they're going to be
They're in a rude awakening.
Mismatched big time with the size that Mount Heritage has got.
What's the size for Mount Heritage?
They got a 6'10" guy. They also got couple 6'3", 6'4" guys.
So they're like a D2 college basketball team.
And they only had 9 players they said on the roster, but they play them all. And whenever you clear the bench in a blowout like against Lincoln, you only can take 4 starters out, and the 4 you bring in play a lot. So it's not like you dropping down a lot. So they just continued to expand the score last night.
So they're not as deep as Shelby. 15. They went 15. They went 15 deep.
They only
last
have
night.
9 players on the roster. Is what they said. So.
Shelby put their third shift in last night, up 20 with 2 minutes left. Kid.
Yeah, as Kevin said, Shelby. He's seen them play, and they play in shifts.
Shifts of 5. They got 15 players.
So they got 3 shifts.
They only play the 2, and then the third comes in. The victory shift.
That's the JV team if they need to.
Yes, the victory shift, and victory shift got in last night. And what they do, Aubrey Holyfield, he'll get up 5, Ken, and you'll like watching Shelby. He goes 4 corners. As soon as he gets up 5, 6, whatever, you're gonna have to slow it down. You're gonna have to come out and guard him. He'll go 4 corners, but they come out in shifts. They play 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, and it's just relentless pressing, nonstop. You got 10 players with 4 fouls each. You got 40 fouls. So think about having to bring that ball up like that. So if you don't have depth or not in shape enough to deal with that, they're going to give a lot of people problems. Now they don't have anybody really. You might be What are you, 6'1", 6'2"?
6 foot.
You're right at
Yeah,
6.
right at
6'4" is their tallest person, Isaiah Best, really. And then Jack Holyfield's underneath, and he's bigger and stronger than anyone out there. Him and I know one of the Bandy's guards went for a ball last night, and you can only imagine who come up with the loose ball between him and Jack.
We about to dove in on that one.
Ken, they called so Jack and his brother Dax will take charges. They like to get in the lane and take charges.
Dax, what's his last name?
Holyfield.
That's the linebackers, ain't it?
Yeah, that's the
linebackers.
So what he'll do is his little Dax is at Virginia Tech right now playing. Yeah.
No, but Jack.
Jack, yeah. He starts. He takes up a lot of room in the lane and pushes everybody around, but he takes charges and gets physical, right? So he does the old flopping and stuff. So last night one kid went through him and they didn't call nothing, and they called it on Jack, and it probably should have been on the other kid. And anyway, a few minutes later, some other kid just dipped his shoulder into Jack and then spun back the other way. He didn't even run through Jack. And Jack did the old Dennis Rodman flop, and they gave him the call on that one. It was just there's some flopping out there. Little kids running into him. You're like, he didn't run through Jack.
What's East Lincoln projected to go in the playoffs?
They're the 1 seed.
They're the 1 seed. Now, the number
in the West.
2 seed is Forest Hills, who won the whole thing last year, and was the team that knocked East Lincoln.
Yeah, I was at that game.
But see, I think, I don't know.
Farmville Central's number 1.
You think East Lincoln's better this year than what it was last year?
Maybe a little bit, but Forest Hills is probably good too. I mean, they got a lot of players back. They had a 6'7", 6'8" guy that's really good.
So let's look at that 2A bracket. East Lincoln hosts Lexington Senior tomorrow. Then the winner of that will play South Point and Wheatmore.
Yep.
Then West Stokes host Walkertown, and and the winner of that would play East Rutherford at Hendersonville. Shelby in the other bracket hosts Mount Pleasant tomorrow. The winner of that will take on Mountain Heritage and Maiden. Ken, how do you see that matchup?
I think
Mount Heritage is going to walk over them.
So we're looking at
Now, Maiden will try to play it a slow down, but Mount Heritage got more.
Okay, so I'm looking at a Shelby Mountain Heritage matchup maybe next week.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right.
I'm thinking that'd be a good match.
That'd be next week. That'd be Saturday.
Saturday.
That'd be a Saturday game?
Yeah. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
What time?
It says 7 o'clock.
Usually they play at 7.
So
that's what it says on the sheet. Yeah.
I want to try to get one of those Tuesday games. East Lincoln or Shelby. I'd like
next week, next Tuesday. East Lincoln. If East Lincoln made it that far, they would be playing. We'll talk about that in a minute. Patton and North Davidson, and then Franklin at, like Ken said, Forest Hills, and then the winners of that would play. That's the Shelby bracket that they would come out. So for Shelby and East Lincoln to play each other, it would be March 5th, which would be Tuesday.
Next Tuesday,
I think.
Yes.
If I read that right.
That's right.
No, they would not be playing. They'd be playing the next game, the following game in the regional round. They'd be playing in Hickory. Yeah, they'd be playing in Hickory for that.
Brackets,
yeah.
Yep. Different sides of the bracket, I should say.
Yep. So they would go to the Final Four. The only way for them to play each other.
If Shelby and East Lincoln ran into each other, who would win?
Well, we was just talking about that a minute ago. I haven't seen East this year, but I know all the players on the team. It seems to me they have the type of maybe two type of player. The team that beats Shelby Addison is a team with a good scoring guard and a big man that's hard to deal with.
They don't have a big man.
Okay.
East Lincoln
So,
does.
like I said, they send the shifts out there. So you've got to be able to outpace them. Like they don't have the scores as other team. They might not have the pure basketball players. Now Christopher gets hot. He's tough to deal with. Each team's got one guy really on the floor that can get hot. Now they don't have anybody over 6'4", but like I said, it's 10 guys just relentless pressing, full court. We're going at it basketball. So if they get hot, they're really hard to beat.
Mount Heritage might beat Shelby.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because they got that 6'10" guy.
Because they got 6'10" guy, and Kuthon, he's done really well in this conference, but he's only 6'6", and he's skinny. He hadn't played against any size inside.
So the teams I was on that went to the Final Fours we played in Hickory too. The problems we ran into, it wasn't that there was like 1 6'9" guy. Yeah. It was 3 of them. You know what I mean? Like we get to that point, and then we ran into a point guard on both years. I think Taylorsville or Thomasville. I can't remember. Thomasville, I think, had like a 6'5" point guard, and our point guard was 6'1". And I'll tell you what, the point guard that year, Ralph's little brother Wes Roberts. Ralph's a better all-around basketball player, but Wes may be the best dribbler I've ever been around. Like he in practice, Addison, this would make you mad. You would work your butt off, for a minute trying to guard him, stand in front of him, and you turn around and you're standing in the same spot.
Yeah.
He has shook you 7 times, and everyone else is running the offense behind you, and you're still in the same spot because he's like he dribbles high like Ed Cota.
Yeah.
So he actually had a good game. It's just they're 6'6". He kept getting into the lane.
He's rocking you.
And
to
then we
sleep.
didn't have the big man to block his shot once he got by our point.
Yeah, he's
And-
rocking you
Oh,
to sleep.
yeah.
He's just
see
wearing
what
you
happened.
out.
Robinson for Lincoln's pretty good on the drive, but when he got in there last night, he got his shots blocked. They blocked about 7 or 8 shots.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? They had the sides inside. He couldn't.
You think Robinson? Is Robinson committed to go play basketball anywhere?
And I don't think he has, but he did get Player of the Year in that conference.
Yeah, I mean he just ain't got the body
Mount
size.
Pleasant's
He's
just
not
going to
big
have to,
enough.
or Mount Pleasant's just going to have to be able to run with, or who'd you say, Heritage?
Mount Heritage.
Mount
Mount
Heritage.
Heritage.
They just have to run with them. It's
They like to play fast. That's what
we'll see.
Heritage
Do you
does
know
play
how many they
fast?
played deep? Do you know how many they played?
Heritage.
Yeah,
They only had 9.
players.
They
Oh,
got
you only had 9.
players on the roster, and they played them all. The whole game. They got 9 only because
Let me put it this way: 6'9" guys going to go for 25 to beat Shelby. You're
And-
9 people
and-
against that 2 shifts.
And
They got
they're going to have to control the pace of the game because if Shelby gets the
Yes.
pace of the game, Mount Heritage is done.
Yeah.
Don't
Mount
run them to
Heritage
death.
likes to play fast. Now I'm gonna tell you something about Heritage, and I know it.
And turnovers are going to be a big thing in that
Depends
game.
on your competition. They hadn't had a close game lately. I looked, and
not.
they beaten everybody about 30, 40, and 50 points. I mean, they hadn't had a close
So
game.
East Lincoln this year
I
lost
don't know.
to
That's going to
Mallard
be a great
Creek,
game.
and
They lost the first 2
and
games,
lost to Maiden.
and they've lost 20 in a row.
Who's going to that game to watch it?
Which one?
Who's going to Mount Heritage Shelby game?
Well, if he gets
We'll
there,
have that on.
we'll have to figure that
It'll be
out.
Saturday. We'll have that on KTC.
It'll be-
Tom Sinofani will have that Saturday night. It's Anna's birthday. Also, I had to tell her happy birthday. I know she's not listening, but anyway, happy birthday, Anna. Let's see. Also, let's go to the 1A's. Ken.
Is Cherryville in the playoffs?
Cherryville and Bedford City both lost last night.
Oh,
So Addison, we got last night. Like Ken said, a lot of teams in the area lost. Thomas Jefferson fell to Starmount, so Starmount will.
Starmouth's good. They got some good players.
Starmount's the 5 seed. They host North Stanley, who beat Cherryville last night. Lincoln Charter's the 4 seed. They beat Cherokee 79-38 as they move on to face North Stokes. Also in the 1A's around here, Highland Tech fell last night to Hayesville 74-60. Bessemer City fell to Pine Lake Prep 78-64. And Mountain Island Charter won over Albemarle 70-58, and they'll play Community School of Davidson, who's the 2 seed, 86-41. And here they are in the 1A's, Ken, and I'm reading these names for you. Just anything sound familiar? Winston-Salem Prep, Bishop McGinnis, Lincoln Charter,
Winston-Salem Prep, they got to be
Academy,
number 1, ain't they?
Chatham Charter,
They grew-
Pine Lake Preps, Mountain Island Charter, Community School of Davidson Charter.
That
So you hear
year,
what I'm saying?
that
One,
Cody Schubert and then went to the state championship. Were they number 1 that
3,
year?
4.
I don't know whether it was rated number 1 or if it was Bishop or Winston-Salem. I think Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem Prep probably number 1.
8 of the 16 teams in the West are charter schools.
Yeah,
What about Winston-Salem Prep? What are they ranked?
One.
they're number 1 seed. So
What are they beating teams by?
I hadn't looked.
90-56 was the first round. So, for example,
Yeah.
Addison.
It's mismatches
So
like that.
Cherryville gets to draw from. They have to play Winston Prep. And so does Bessemer City. They both draw. They both have 5, 6, 7,000 homes in the cities.
Yeah. You told me about that.
Winston Salem has 3.5 million homes.
Yeah, I mean it's and they recruit.
And you can go there. If I live in Cherryville, I can go to Winston Salem Prep.
They recruit.
So, how is Cherryville supposed to compete with that?
How far is Winston-Salem Prep away?
Winston Salem.
Winston-Salem's not bad.
2 hour and a
Not
half,
that
but you can
far.
go there.
But it's still, I mean,
An hour and a half and
2
people are
hours.
going there?
I'm not saying
Yeah.
people. You
Yeah,
can
stuff like that happens all the time.
That's
It's
stupid.
not fair.
rent an apartment. I mean, you can do all
It's
kinds of
fair.
things.
Stupid.
But like I said, there's 8 of 16 teams. We're going to keep counting as it dwindles down in the Final Four. How the public
Yeah,
schools in 1A, because the private school or the charter schools in 1A will have a 6'9" really good guy. And then how does the 1A schools keep those? They don't. The years I was there, the reason we got the twins on our team was that Bessemer they were supposed to go to Bessemer originally. And they had a 6'9" guy. He got recruited, I think, up. He didn't go to Oak Hill. Was the other one up that way? Maybe Mount Zion Academy or one of those.
Yeah.
He went up that way, and so the whole Bessemer City just broke up altogether. They ended up with nobody, and players went to Cherryville and Kings Mountain and split up. So that's something they're having to deal with in the 1A. Over in the 3A, Kings Mountain won over Inca 92-67. Hoping it would set up a matchup with Huss in round 2, but Huss falls 71-68 to Marvin Ridge Mavericks. Huss was the 12th seed. Kings Mountain, the 5 seed this year. 1 seed is Southwest Guilford in the West. The 2 seed is Cox Mill, 3 Freedom, and 4 is Charlotte Catholic. If
Hillside.
you're in the Eastern.
Hillside's number 1.
In the East, yeah.
On the eastern side.
Oh, God.
The western side.
So over here in the West, and I don't know why they did the bracket should be switched, West and East, left, right. But anyway, Charlotte Catholic plays McMichael. If Charlotte Catholic wins and Kings Mountain wins, we'll have Kings Mountain at Catholic, a rematch of the
Football game.
Well, was that the Final Four in football too, or the one game before that?
One game
it was one. It was the the semifinals, quarterfinals. So we got that coming up. I see Ben L. Smith down the list. That's who beat Kings Mountain last year. Talk about tall teams, Addison. All across the board, 6'5" and taller. And they had the 6'9" guy. He was out there shooting threes and beating shots. Ben L. Smith. It's in Winston-Salem.
Oh.
So, or Greensboro, one of those two. Winston-Salem.
Cox Mills have been, they're the one that's had a real good team, and had that guy's he's going to Duke next year. He's still on there, right? More.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now looking at, say, for example, the 3As, I got Catholic is the only non-public school in the 3A in the West. So 1 out of 16 in the 3A, and it's 8 out of 16 in the 1As.
Yeah.
So
You have that because 1A just don't have that many students, so
Yep.
it ends up being that classification.
All right, Ken, tomorrow night, you and me will be out of East Lincoln for the East Lincoln Mustangs and the Lexington Senior Yellow Jackets. All right, we got the roster there. I was looking at a minute ago. They got one tall fellow there, don't they?
Lexington, and they do have one tall guy.
What was their record there and stuff, too?
I think it was
here it is.
18-9,
14-4 overall. Ranked 246 in the state, if that means anything to you.
What's East ranked in the state?
I don't know overall. That's a good question. I don't have the roster in front of me.
Is it on Max Preps?
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Just pull up their schedule. It'll
Looking
show
at
it
the
top of the
stats,
page.
this big guy averaged like 14.5 rebounds a game and double-figure scoring. So obviously he's in there playing all the time, doing some stuff for him. So it'll be an interesting matchup. Him matching up against some of the sides that East Lincoln has had advantage of in their conference, but won't have advantage against Lexington.
Now, Lexington is the Yellow Jackets,
Yeah.
but they're orange.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
And look at the picture.
Yeah.
There it is.
Right.
They're not the Orange Jackets. They
What'd
could
I
easily
got?
just call them the Orange Jackets. Just click on East Lincoln. They could easily call them the Orange Jackets, but they're the Lexington Yellow Jackets, and they're orange. They're Syracuse colors. How does that make any sense?
I don't know.
Ken, you got any explanation on that?
Makes no sense to me.
And and this is a school. This is education.
Well, maybe the guy that picked this way back when was colorblind. He just didn't know it. I don't know.
That's the old. Is it Wolf Pack or Wolf Pack? One or two. Nevada or
One or the
NC
other.
State's right. One of them's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go real quick to the women's before we get to our first break. And these printouts so small, I have to look find people. Lincoln Charter won 78-73 over Polk County. They host Cherokee tomorrow night. Cherryville fell last night to Pine Lake Prep 67-37. Pine Lake Prep visits Union Academy, all from the same conference there. Also in the West, Community School of Davidson won. They'll go to Murphy. That'll be a trip.
Oh my goodness.
Davidson to Murphy. Let's see. Lexington Charter faces Allegheny. Mount Airy faces Hiwassee Dam. And I don't think any other teams are from our area. Mount Don Charter did get beat. 61-46 to Mitchell. And there you go. Did you find the
The state rankings are right there.
so they're at least you can 38
They're
overall.
38th, and then in the 2A, they're number 2.
Okay.
Farmville
so,
Central is number 1.
so Farmville 1, East Lincoln 2.
Forest
Now,
Hills is 3, and then Kinston is 4.
all right. Now that was the women's one. I guess I could do the 2 and 3A. Couldn't I?
How did you how did you Conover do last night? That's the best team around here.
All right. Newton Conover wins last night 71-36.
They got 2 6'3" gals that play. One of them's real athletic, and scores a lot, rebounds a lot. And another one's more huskier built, but they're tough because they got size and they got some playmakers too.
They host West Wilkes after they squeaked by Patton 59-57. So maybe look for another big Newton Conover win. If they win that against West Wilkes, it'll be Bunker Hill at East Burke. So they'll play the winner of Bunker Hill and East Burke. You got a feeling on that one, East Burke?
Oh, my.
I don't know
See
that much
that?
about them.
Watch it.
About on the girls' side.
Watch Sydney. You get stop put back on somebody.
We had one last night for Bandy's had a putback dunk.
Did you?
Ledford. I can't remember his. No, not Ledford. I'll look up his name. It was sweet. Nobody was expecting to come right off the rim, and he ran right down the middle of the lane and put it back. Got Bandy's they about come back on that, but Shelby pulled away. Shelby girls lost 62-57. RS Central won 80-62. They'll go to Wilkes Central next. East Rutherford won 46-44 over Lexington. They will host Surrey Central. And Ford falls 71-27.
Wow.
And we do have a Fred T. Ford fan that calls on Saturdays, actually.
Okay.
So there you go. And Bandy's lost 68-55. Over into 3A, real quick, for our first break here, we've got Kings Mountain wins 56-40. They won the conference. Now they'll face off for the fourth time this year North Gaston, as they won 54-45. That'll be at Kings Mountain tomorrow night. 2 games at Kings Mountain tomorrow night, folks. Get out there and check that out. Also, Forest View fell 55-28. And also in the area, Ashbrook fell 60-42. And that's your schedule and scores from last night and tomorrow. Any more comments before we go to our break, Ken?
No, come back. I've got a comment about a local high school football player who is making a position change in college. You might be surprised who it is and what the position change is going to be.
All right, we'll be right back. I'll make sure I've got the right thing pulled up here. Here we go. Now we'll be right back. KTCBroadcasting.com.
See America's favorite carpenter, Ty Pennington of TLC's Trading Spaces, appearing February 23rd only. Plus, explore the beautiful Bellegarde Gardens inspired by HGTV. From kitchens and baths to gardening and more, the Southern Spring Home and Garden Show. Buy tickets online and save $2 at charlottespringhomeandgardenshow.com.
We're here because your mother doesn't trust anyone else. Your daughter just got her license. Your son needs a dependable car for school. Or maybe you just appreciate honesty, which is exactly what you get at Classic Ford of Shelby. Whether shopping for one of our 200 new Fords in stock or one of our quality pre-owned vehicles starting as low as $3,000, you get honest service at a hometown price. Welcome to our family. Classic Ford of Shelby, the hometown store that gives you more.
Keep the umbrellas handy. More rain in the forecast over the next couple of days. We'll have mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight. Some patchy fog will be possible with low temperatures in the low to mid 40s. Thursday, we'll have mostly cloudy skies, scattered showers, especially during the afternoon and evening, with high temperatures in the lower 60s. And then Friday, cloudy skies with some light rain possible and highs in the upper 40s to lower 50s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Currently at the Big Old Country Studios, it's 4:25.
For over 25 years, Moss Realty has been serving clients in Gaston and surrounding counties. Their realtors know the area, not just from maps and pictures, but from living and working in the community. From Belmont to Kings Mountain, Lincolnton to Clover, and more, the hometown specialists at Moss Realty want you to be their neighbors.
Hi, I'm Warren Moss. Whether you're buying or selling your home in Gaston County, call one of the professionals at Moss Realty or visit us online at mossrealty.com. Moss Realty, your hometown specialist.
For performance you can count on, it's a Bush Hog from West End Sales in Vail. Trust in a Bush Hog, a company whose name has become synonymous with the task. That's performance, that's reputation, that's a Bush Hog. Celebrating 67 years. Come in now for 0% special retail financing for 36 months on select new Bush Hog equipment. Built Bush Hog tough. Yes, for performance you can count on, it's Bush Hog. From West End Sales, Highway 18 North at Highway 27 West intersection in Vail.
And good evening. Can y'all hear me? No.
I hear singing. Sounds good though. There we go. There we go. We're back here.
Back here on the Best in Sports show here on a Wednesday afternoon. Addison Johnson, Ken Link, and Kevin
Got some
Hayes.
big news today, Ken.
Yeah, let's talk about.
Go ahead and share that with us, Ken.
Local, outstanding football player who is changing positions in college. Tell us who it is.
Chaz Surratt, quarterback from East Lincoln, is changing positions on his redshirt junior year coming up. He's changing to linebacker, 6'3", 215. What's your comments on that, Ken?
First of all, I was completely surprised that he's changing to defense. But when I saw it, I go, okay, maybe safety or cornerback.
Safety seems like a safer position.
Outside
for him.
linebacker. And he obviously, at 215, he's going to have to put on some weight. And it was discussing here, he got to get used to hitting people rather than dodging people to get hit. Yeah. So, I mean, that's one of the issues that I don't know. It's just amazing to me. The kid's got a lot of talent on the offensive side of the football.
For over 25 years, Moss Realty has been serving clients in Gaston and surrounding counties. Their realtors know the area, not just from maps and pictures, but from...
There we go.
What are y'all hitting a button every time I turn around?
Nope.
I look outside and y'all hit a button.
We hadn't touched anything.
Now, let me give you some interesting things here.
Say his weight, height, and weight. What'd you say?
Okay, his height right now is 6'3", and his weight is 215. Now, interesting enough, I looked up Luke Kuechly's height and weight, and he's a middle linebacker. Luke Kuechly is 6'3", and he's 235. So, out of the blue, he's got to gain 20 pounds of muscle, and he's got to put.
Yeah.
And that's not hard to do in the off season. You can do that.
But he never played a lot of defense in high school. They put him at defensive end occasionally, but he mostly played offense.
I know I got to comment a lot about this on Saturday.
I'd rather have him at safety. He's just so much smarter.
Here's a couple of thoughts as far as I don't think it's fair the way we do quarterbacks and the way we treat quarterbacks. You have 2 or 3 bad games or an injury, and all of a sudden you're done, you're trash, you're nothing, and then we keep looking to the next guys. Every freshman is the next best thing. That's all we ever talk about. Well, this freshman or that freshman or this guy and that guy, he's gonna fix this. And we've seen enough quarterbacks in college that have switched schools and played somewhere else where they're more welcome and a better fit, that it's worked out. And I think he should have transferred schools before he changed positions.
I do too.
And another thing, not only because of his talent, but because he was first of all, he was the National Player of the Year from Parade All-American at quarterback. Not North Carolina, not the SMAC Conference or whatever, the South Florida. National Parade Magazine Player of the Year at quarterback. So Appalachia could use him. I mean, come on. I mean, what are we talking about here? Somebody like Western, he could go to West Carolina and play immediately. But to make it as a quarterback, let's say you make it a backup quarterback, you can still make $10 million in the NFL. The amount of money that you can make is a chance. All right, for example, Ken, Armani Edwards won 2 national championships, National Player of the Year twice. He threw for more yards than Jimmy Clausen in college, and John Fox drafted them both. He never saw either one of them throw a single pass on. He admitted, on tape, I've never seen Armani Edwards or Jimmy Clausen throw a single pass. And he drafted them both, and he made Armani the punt returner.
Yeah.
So half the league that year in the scouting reports, I read all the scouting reports trying to figure out where Armani's going to end up. Half of them said he's a quarterback. The other half said wide receiver. So Chaz gets down here to Helicopter Fedora, who goes around the state recruiting everybody, and then they come out there and run this offense to where it was nothing but matadors. I described the offensive line in the last 2 years. And then Chaz got hurt, and the other kid, he put in a quote. This was his quote. He looked good against the practice team this week. That's why I started him over Chaz. Oh, my God. He looked good. This is after. And I know Chaz hasn't come in and lit the world on fire. Who has it in North Carolina? Name me the pro quarterbacks in North Carolina not named Mitchell Trubisky, who's throwing 53% in the NFL. In the history of the school, none.
And he's so smart, he had him on the bench to his junior year, playing somebody that never even made it in
Right,
the NFL.
right.
I just think that's horrible. I
just-
think you need to at least give him a shot, and
So Mac Brown obviously had his friend. That's who he's
Well,
going
I
with,
think-
obviously.
Well, I think
or whoever they have coming
the
in.
The guy that's coming in as a freshman is who I think
Right.
the
Yeah,
guy
so
that
Mac
just
sold on that.
changed his mind, was going to Florida State, and he got him in there. That's who I think is already.
If
set.
you're a quarterback, just
You're
don't
gonna
go
be
to
my
North
quarterback,
Carolina.
Because the other guy, the left-handed guy, Elliott, last year,
he was horrible. He could barely throw a
They
10-yard
ruined.
pass.
They ruined Ronald Curry. I mean, that didn't pan out. And I'm a Carolina Carolina fan. He should have stayed at Duke and let David Cutcliffe.
I'm like you. I'd much rather see Chance transfer somewhere and
give it a try.
quarterback.
You can switch to linebacker or safety in the NFL, but before if I say play all your years in college as a quarterback. You've got to take that chance. If you've got the chance to play quarterback in college, you've got to take that chance as far as you can. See, we've got all these new football leagues out now. You got the CFL, the AFL, the XFL's coming. You don't think the XFL he could play in something like the XFL?
Oh, absolutely.
So, unless you just love lifting weights. Here's the thing, like we said, he's not going to safety, and my thing is a mindset. Have you ever met a linebacker? If you have, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Most of them. I mean, because you have to hit someone in the face every single play.
And you got to love it.
You have to love it, and you have to make the contact, and you have to want it.
You got to initial the contact.
Now, I've seen Chaz play great defense. I've seen him run over people and stomp people into the ground. But that's high school kids.
Yeah.
That's not in his whole
It's a
life.
new world in
as
this
a quarterback,
NCAA.
as a quarterback, he spent his whole life avoiding tackles, right? Yeah. Running away from the main contact. So now his job is to make the guy get hurt. There's a totally different mindset, and I just don't know at this point in his career because he's going to be hitting 300-pound men.
I see,
big old dudes.
Looking at the NCAA, college football, college basketball, you're going to start seeing a lot of these players come out of high school saying, look, I can go to the NFL. I can take different routes than going to college. I can make money coming straight out of high school. I can go to these leagues like the AFL, XFL, and then you got college, and you got people that can go overseas and play and come back. And in the next couple of years, you see like the Zion Williamson, what happened to him this past week. You're gonna start seeing a lot of players skipping college and just going overseas and getting money because they know they can get the same publicity overseas that they can in college.
Well, here's the thing. Do you not think if Zion wouldn't already have like a Nike deal if he was playing in the G League or somewhere else? Because there's going to be – we always talk about these exceptions to the rule. You talk about with Zion, not every player is Zion. And
if you're not going to a top 5 team and you're a big player, then you need to just go to overseas. Because if you're not going to Duke, Carolina, Kentucky, Villanova, or like some of the big schools like Arizona, those are big schools to go to. Those are big schools that you're going to get really good coaching, and you're going to get the playing time and the competition you deserve.
What is Mac Brown's goal here? Because that's really the ultimate thing on what's going on here. 'Cause, I mean, in college football, you've got your precious 10 schools that can lose one game. Alabama can lose 2 games and can still get in the playoffs.
He got
teams like North Carolina,
that quarterback from Florida State, right? And he's got that quarterback from Florida State coming in. He's going to be our starting quarterback, right, for Carolina?
I think so.
So since I think he's sitting there saying, look, I already moved Chaz to defense. That should show you your position is locked.
Yeah.
Your position is locked on this offense. You come here, you're safe. And I think that's what he's trying to do.
Well, he says he wants to be, he wants to compete with all the big guys, but he's got a long way to go to bring that program up where he can.
Yeah.
I mean, before you compete with the Clemsons and Florida State's in the league, much less the Alabamas too.
All right, we got to take another quick break. We'll be right back on the Best in Sports Talk.
We know what the community wants and needs because we live here too.
Definitely in touch with the city and what's going on.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL Cherryville.
Here's what's up in Cleveland, Gaston, and Lincoln counties. Brought to you by the What's Up Shopper, Carolina Country, WCSL, and the Boss, WOHS and WLON. Mark your calendar for March 26 for the annual Adult Spelling Bee in Lincolnton from the Lincoln County Chamber of Commerce. Proceeds benefit the Chamber and education in Lincoln County. There will be a Porta Pit Chicken fundraiser in Cherryville at John Chavis Middle School on February 25th. Proceeds go toward the purchase of Chromebooks and supplies for the school. And that's What's Up, brought to you by the What's Up Shopper. Carolina Country, WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 FM. The Boss, WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM. And WLON 1050 AM and 107.5 FM. For more information, go to whatsupshopper.com.
Isolated and alone?
That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
Has cold weather got you down? Come by and see us at Napa Auto Parts in Cherryville at our new location on Highway 150 West in Cherryville. Let us help you with a new battery for that car or truck. Batteries that go from your lawnmower all the way to a tractor trailer. We carry all sizes. Let us be your first place that you shop for your new battery. Our helpful staff will do our best to sell you the right battery for the right application.
It's the 30th anniversary of NBA basketball in Charlotte, and the Hornets are writing the latest chapter in Charlotte basketball history with their first-year head coach, James Borrego. Fast-paced and high-flying. Join the new voice of Charlotte Hornets basketball, Chris Kroger, and 10-year NBA veteran Matt Carroll as they deliver every thrilling moment of Hornets hoops all season long on the Charlotte Hornets Radio Network.
Here's Charlotte Hornet basketball right here on the Boss in Carolina Country. WHS, WCSL, and WLON. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings, and when it came time to have extra large Mards, a pink Cadillac lettered up, we took it right up the street to James Leo and Cherryville Signs and Graphics in Cherryville. Cherryville Signs and Graphics does it all. Signs, decals, banners, vehicle graphics, and wraps. Also full-color printing, logo designs, and more. Find them on Facebook. You might even see extra large Mards there. That's Cherryville Signs and Graphics, Highway 150 West in Cherryville, next to Acre Enterprises. Call 704-830-7057 for Cherryville Signs and Graphics.
4 out of 5 women with ovarian cancer will experience recurrence.
It's often incurable.
Until recently, following chemotherapy, women with recurrent ovarian cancer had to simply watch and wait for their disease to come back.
Well, we say, not on my watch.
Not on my watch. With maintenance therapies, women can delay recurrence.
Awareness of your choices empowers you.
Take an informed and active role. Visit notonmywatch.com.
Cherryville American Legion Post 100 Baseball right here on Big O Country. WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Kill switch. Welcome back, Wednesday Sports Talk, Best in Sports Talk. Kevin Hastings with Ken Link. What you got, Ken, on the docket now?
Let's talk a little bit of college basketball.
College basketball. So you want to talk? Do you have the other half design shoe in your pocket?
I do not have it. I don't know whether Nike's trying to design it and get it fixed so it don't happen again or not. But
somebody got fired somewhere.
They had a big blowout of that shoe, and of course the Devils have took 2 losses out of the last 3 games after the Heels took them down at the beginning of that game when they lost Zion.
Yep.
And
do you think Zion will play again in college?
Well, that spurred a tremendous discussion about that topic.
Let's go ahead and get that out of the way.
Even some pros coming out and say, "Hey, Zion,
you shouldn't play.
Just shut it down, man. Don't mess up your career. You're going to be #1 draft pick. You're going to get your money. Why play?" Well, when he went to Duke, he said he was going to Duke because it was the brotherhood. We'll see how much he really likes that brotherhood.
Yeah, let's see how much he really wants to, be out there for his brothers.
But
quick question, real quick. Does Zion wear Nikes? Even though Duke is sponsored by Nike, does Zion? Because he don't have to. Like I was listening to what Tracy McGrady said. He don't have to wear that shoe. He don't have to do anything. He don't have to play ever again for Duke. But does he wear Nikes ever again on the basketball court?
Those were PG PG-13s, Paul George shoes.
Yeah, they're trash.
So, well, George called and was asking about the mate. Well, one of the biggest points that
who called?
Paul George.
Called
Nike and asking. He called Nike and was asking about his shoe. Are they made good enough? So here's what basically it comes down to is that if you're running NASCAR and if you're running off-road truck, you're running a different type of tire, right? So what they're saying is that those shoes are made for 220-pound athletes running fast, jumping high, not 250 to 80-pound athletes putting that type of pressure on them. With that said, the shoe shouldn't bust like that.
Yeah. I mean,
it looked like it exploded.
My response would be to say, "Hey, you got some big guys in the NBA."
It don't matter. It don't matter if he wants to wear that shoe. They should let him wear that shoe with open arms. You know what I'm saying? Because that is great publicity. If he wants to wear PG-13s, Paul George should call Nike and be like, "Hey, you need to make 400-pound shoes where he can wear them. I don't care if he wants to wear them or not. Let him wear the shoes."
Nike was concerned about it. They didn't call. They actually called that night and said, "We'll be there at Duke tomorrow in Durham. We'll sit down and talk with you." I mean, they were concerned because Duke's had a long-term contract over 20-some years, and I think it runs through 28.
Oh, Coach K's got the contract. That's the thing.
So, I mean, so they would said, "Hey, we
now think about it. Coach K's got a multi-million-dollar deal over those shoes, and that kid just blew his knee out playing for free. Almost blew his knee out playing for free. Now with the way the shoes work, Addison. So let's say Carolina's Team Jordan, right?
Yeah.
If have you ever been in any of these locker rooms and seen their actual locker, their bundle of shoes or bucket of shoes?
I've seen them on YouTube. I've watched like their facility and how everything works.
So Duke's Nike, Carolina's Team Jordan, State's Adidas. So they'll have a choice.
So
of
quick question:
3 to 20 shoes they can wear.
Jordan is the same brand. It's just a brand of Nike, right?
Actually, that's funny. We'll pull up the math on that. Team Jordan brand, and this is again why he's the GOAT, sells like 10 times more than the rest of Nike brand.
Are you serious?
It's just ridiculous.
So
it's not, Jordan is a part of Nike, but
he outsells Nike.
He outsells all the other basketball shoes combined.
That's crazy.
So basically, that's the reason they got him signed up.
Basically, Nike is basically doing good because Jordan is basically the brand. Jordan's the brand that owns Nike, basically.
A lot of it, yeah. So they're separate entities, but they're part of it. So what happens? So you'd go into Carolina's locker room, and you'd go into Luke May's locker, and he'd have, I don't know if it's a bucket anymore. I remember when I went to Carolina camp. So Vince Carter and Brandon Haywood and Anton Jameson, they would have a little cubby in each one of their lockers that had like 5 to 8 pair of shoes. And so they could choose which pairs, and then a lot of games, a lot of teams will wear the same shoes. Yeah. So some games you all wear the same shoes, some games you don't. But they all don't have one shoe to play. Like, it ain't like a high school team where you just got these team shoes. They've got choices. So I don't know if Zion's going to stay, if he's trying anything else out. I'm sure I wouldn't go back out there in PG-13s, would you?
Not after that.
They should make a special shoe just for him that are PG-13s. They should
Well, they can't right now. He's in college.
They virtually may do that.
I'm sure if Zion said, "I'm not ever playing a college game again for Duke," I'm sure Coach K can pull some strings.
Here's the bad thing about that, guys. If Zion wanted to sell that shoe to one of his teammates, he'd be suspended.
That's against the rules.
Yeah.
If he wanted to sell that shoe to one of his teammates for $20, hey, I want to go to McDonald's tonight. Give me $20. I'll let you have his busted shoe. Now, let's talk about the 11th player on Duke who'll never make millions of dollars playing basketball, and he could sell that shoe for a good player.
Yeah.
But Zion can't sell his shoe.
He could get away with it though. All he had to do was say, "I threw the shoe away." That's all he had to do.
Why'd you go to that kind of risk?
Well, that's what Chaz did.
I'm sure Zion's
that's
worried
what
about
Chaz did. Now they're making him play linebacker. You don't ever know how this stuff works out.
I'm sure, but hold on. I'm sure Zion's worried about McDonald's tonight. I'm sure Coach K don't have a stake in his locker when he gets out of workouts.
Bottom line, Coach K says that he wants to play when he gets well, and there's been no thought of him shutting down and not playing anymore.
Yeah. So let's just go over the college basketball rankings. Gonzaga number 1, Duke 2, Virginia sits at 3, Kentucky is at 4, UNC moved up to number 5, Michigan State 6, Tennessee 7, Houston 8, Michigan 9, and Marquette is 10. Other ACC schools that you might want to know about: Florida State's at 18, and Virginia Tech is sitting at 20th in the nation.
And Carolina now leads the ACC with 13-2 record, followed by Virginia 12-2. The Duke Blue Devils 12-3. They may not be number 2 in the nation next week, being their number 3 in ACC.
When do they play Carolina again, Ken?
Week and a half.
Week and a half. Last game of the season. Heard.
Week and a half, and so I'd listed 8 teams here that I think have a shot at going into the playoffs. Virginia Tech coming in at 4th. Florida State 5th, Louisville 6th, Syracuse 7, NC State 8. That's the only 8 I see with a chance of going in, and State needs to continue to play well to get in.
Does NC State have a shot at finishing over a 500 in the division? Do they have a shot?
They're 8-7, so I think they do.
You think they might lose a little bit more games?
Well, they only got 3 more games. So.
What are they averaging points a game? 24, 25?
Shouldn't you be disqualified? I got 2 questions for this conversation. I got 2 disqualifications. NC State, you're disqualified for only scoring 24 points in the shot clock.
Yeah, like if that even happened.
You're not one of the 60, whatever, how many ever 12 teams we let in the tournament now.
How many seconds are on a shot clock?
They don't have a.
How many seconds are on a shot clock?
30 now, I think.
They scored less points than what is on a shot clock.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
And they haven't got a good win over anybody really.
My second question, shouldn't Virginia be banned from being a 1 seed?
Why?
After last year.
They're the only 1 seed that's ever been beat.
After last year.
They got beat last year.
In the Final Four, I mean the March
to start the tournament, Virginia got beat first round, number 1 seed.
Didn't Duke get beat by some 12 or 13 seed?
That's second round.
The
number 1 seed has never lost a first round game until last year, and Virginia did it.
I
therefore propose that they should forever be banned, as long as the same coach is there at least. Should be banned from the 1 seed, right? Same style, same coach. Hey, coach, you're just banned from the 1 seed. You can have the 2. It's not like we're playing at home. It's just a 2 seed.
Didn't they get beat by a good Loyola Chicago team though?
Was that who it was?
I think so. It was. They were a little team from Chicago that made it.
Did they lose that game, or just that Loyola team won?
Loyola went to the 8. They went to the Elite 8. They went to the Elite 8.
Coach K last night after his Virginia Tech loss down there in Blacksville said, "We didn't lose the game. Virginia Tech won the game." Okay, I don't know what that make-believe logic is, but
he's just saying Virginia Tech played better than his boys did.
Yeah, they didn't make enough plays, so you lost, Coach.
Exactly. Exactly.
Goes down as a what, Ken?
A loss.
Hey, the reason the Duke is 3rd in the league this morning, they lost.
All right, we got another take another break. If you got any other notes on college basketball?
Nope.
All right, we'll be right back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
People are talking about when they listen to Carolina Country.
We listen to you all the time. I listen to it at night, in the morning, at work, everywhere I go.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL Cherryville.
We're here because your mother doesn't trust anyone else. Your daughter just got her license. Your son needs a dependable car for school. Or maybe you just appreciate honesty, which is exactly what you get at Classic Ford of Shelby. Whether shopping for one of our 200 new Fords in stock or one of our quality pre-owned vehicles starting as low as $3,000, you get honest service at a hometown price. Welcome to our family. Classic Ford of Shelby, the hometown store that gives you more.
When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Every morning is different for everybody. Nate gets up for the early shift, while Brad is just getting home from the night shift. Pam runs a PR and a 5K, while Drew runs late to work. Beth proposes a road trip to her boyfriend, while Mark proposes to his girlfriend. Luckily, there's a McDonald's for every morning.
Start your morning with a rich, smooth, and freshly brewed McCafe coffee. And now, get any size for just $1 at McDonald's. Limited time offer. Price of participation may vary. A la carte only.
At Cherryville Auto and Truck Parts, we are now able to give our customers one of the largest inventories in the area. We have moved from the small blue building to the newer location at 1313 Shelby Highway. We are now in the former Marvin Beam Ford building. We stock many more parts for your auto, heavy-duty truck, tractor, and hydraulic needs. Come check us out at your Napa store in Cherryville, located at 1313 Shelby Highway, across the road from WCSL.
Sloan Fortenberry is back at It's Your Feet in downtown Cherryville. Call now and get your name on the books for a pedicure. Just call Sloan at 704-460-8669 or talk with Tammy at 704-308-8809 or Betty at 704-297-5197. It's Your Feet does pedicures, manicures, and you'll feel like you're walking on a cloud. And they specialize in care for the disabled, those in wheelchairs or with walkers. It's Your Feet in the Pink Building on Main Street, downtown Cherryville.
We're here because your mother doesn't trust anyone else. Your daughter just got her license. Your son needs a dependable car for school. Or maybe you just appreciate honesty, which is exactly what you get at Classic Ford of Shelby. Whether shopping for one of our 200 new Fords in stock or one of our quality pre-owned vehicles starting as low as $3,000, you get honest service at a hometown price. Welcome to our family. Classic Ford of Shelby, the hometown store that gives you more.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Friday afternoons from 1 until 4, right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia, online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Watching Zig. Welcome back to Sports Talk. Got a few minutes, trying to squeeze it all in one day. Had a big day this week. Big week of high school sports, Ken. We got high school playoff basketball, baseball. Friday night. Friday night, we'll be at West Lincoln at East Lincoln. We'll have Piedmont at Cherryville. And St. Stephen's at Crest is on my list, but that might have been changed. That's Burns at Ashbrook. That's it, Burns. We'll look at that. We'll go over that this week. All right, Ken.
Baseball.
What you got?
All right, let's talk a little bit of NFL news. The NFL Combine, Addison, starts Friday, and it'll go through Monday. You'll have some of your key players there. Everybody's talking about Murray from Ohio State. How's he going to do? We'll see.
Murray?
Yeah, and then that guy.
Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
I'm talking about from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. No,
yeah.
I'm sorry, not Oklahoma.
You got Robert Kraft has been in the news lately. Owner of the Patriots was charged with soliciting prostitution in an Asian massage parlor in Florida the night before the morning of the AFC playoff game, championship game. So, what do you think? What do you think the outcome will be of that?
Well, NFL has some behavior rules. There'll probably be some penalty or sanction they might put on him.
I think they'll slap a fine on him,
fine
and they'll say, "Oh, sorry, you're good to go."
Yeah, that'll be about what it is. And I see the NFL is not going to make any changes to having to do with its replay rules after that missed call in the Saints-Rams game. They say they're going to leave everything the same.
I heard I was watching on the news. It was on ESPN, and a lot of the NFL team owners were calling Commissioner Adam Silver to see if he would be willing to become the commissioner of the NFL. What do y'all think about that? You think that he would be willing to do that?
No.
Only thing that's going to matter in anything like that is money.
Yeah.
Money talks on that.
Yeah. Cowboys defensive end Randy Gregory has been suspended for the fourth time.
And
by the NFL.
They got two defensive ends.
My God.
Gregory
for violating the substance abuse policy. ESPN has also reported they also expected Cowboys defensive end David Irving to be suspended for missing multiple drug tests. Irving is one of the Cowboys free agents that they say they will not re-sign. Well, there goes that Cowboys defense that beat the Saints last year.
I got to say, there you go. I mean, this guy's got Gregory's got got problems.
Why is it always the Cowboys?
Well, that's the kind of guys they bring in.
Like I always hear about the Cowboys defensive players getting in trouble. You had a Rolando McClain. You have Randy Gregory the fourth time. You had a couple years ago. You had was it Hardy?
He did not do anything in a Cowboys uniform. He was wearing a Panthers uniform when he
but he was signed to the Cowboys whenever
after he was putting back in the league.
Yeah.
Panthers didn't cut him until they suspended him and he couldn't play for them.
Yeah, but I just looked at it as being a Cowboys player. I mean, he was
Okay.
he was better. I
played like 7 games for the Cowboys.
Yeah,
he got suspended for the Panthers. I look at him as a Cowboy.
Yeah, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
The Cowboys, right?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, because Ray Caruth. How many people from the Cowboys killed somebody?
When he was on the news, there was a Cowboys
how many
emblem under his
Cowboys?
name.
How many Cowboys wrote and sung a rap song in college about sexually molesting girls? I don't know.
That's a great song.
I don't know any. I'm just Now Nate Newton's been caught twice with a bread truck full of marijuana that weighed more than him. I understand.
But Greg.
Greg Hardy's more of a Panther than a Cowboy.
You leave Greg Olson alone.
Don't try to play that.
You love that song. You know it.
Oh, goodness. All right, Ken, what else you got?
Talk a little bit about baseball.
Yeah, we're going to switch it over.
Arenado, the Rockies, signed an 8-year extension for $260 million, making him the highest-paid position player in the Major League Baseball.
Great player.
Machado had already signed his
Great
contract. Now, Bryce Harper is in serious
This is what I want to talk
with
about.
the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
What do you think? You got to get it? They got to pay for him after all these other guys.
They have the money to pay him, and I think that if they sign him, that'd be a great addition to that team. I think their outfield is young, but to have him out there, it'll be very good because he hits the ball well. Last year, every other year we were talking, he has a year off, year on that he hits well, and I think this would be a big year for him playing for the Dodgers, and I'd love to see him in a Dodgers uniform.
Well, I think they may get him. The Phillies thought they had the inside track, but they're concerned because his agent's been really working hard with the Dodgers.
He really is. If you look at it, he is an LA player with all his personality, his hair and everything. He tries to make everything seem bigger than what it is. But he's a Hollywood player.
Anything else, Ken, on your list?
That's it. The 22nd rule has been used in the spring training for pitchers, but I'm not sure they're going to continue with it. They're probably focusing maybe in 2020 at the 3-batter rule.
What did Madison Bumgarner say about that rule?
Pitcher has to.
What did Mad Bum say?
Since we got 60 seconds, I got one for you guys. I got one for Ken. Now, I brought this up on Saturday, and I got fussed at by Tom Sanafani, who was listening, because he wanted me to talk about Manny Machado, one of our other workers. Space Jam 2 is coming out. Isn't it ironic he signed with the Lakers the same year Space Jam 2 gets announced?
2021.
They did a lot of pushing for Anthony Davis to get here. I bet he ends up in the movie. Watch for that, because he's already talked about wanting to be in more movies. I think he was in one already.
He was in Barbershop.
So in Space Jam 2, in 1, Ken, have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen Space Jam?
I have.
So in Space Jam 1, basically some aliens come to invade the planet, basically, and they're going to enslave human race. Bugs Bunny and the gangs kidnap Michael Jordan to play against them in a basketball game, and they've stole the talents of Muggsy Bogues,
to save Earth, right?
Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, and Sean Bradley.
Yep.
On the final play of the game, Michael Jordan dunks from half court
with long arms
stretches out to win the ball game, Ken, to save humanity. We're all free today because Michael Jordan beat aliens in a toon basketball game.
Yep, the greatest.
Space Jam 2. Last time we sent a guy who's 6-0, never lost in the Olympics, won a national championship, and this time we're sending a dude who's 3-6, never played in college. And the final play of the game, what's he going to do? Kick it to Kyle Korver in the corner?
No, he's going to kick it to
Jordan
Bugs.
dunks from half court to save our. We're all going to be slaves in 3 years, Ken, to the aliens because LeBron's going to lose to the aliens.
All right, let's talk.
I'm concerned if we're going to leave it up to him in the last second.
Right? Shouldn't we get KD or Steph?
Hey,
KD or Steph?
I'd rather have Steph, be honest with you, but
at least the Greek freak send a Greek god to play against them. Let's not send
that would be cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, hold on. The NBA. Here we go. Yeah, LeBron James criticized his team after a loss to Memphis, accusing them of allowing distractions to affect the way of the play.
It was those guys I want traded for the reason why we lost.
Yeah.
What do you expect them to be? Happy?
All right, so I'm going to give it about 2 weeks. Breaking news, Luke Walton's fired, LeBron's head coach.
Probably. All right, guys, we'll see you next Wednesday. Tomorrow night, high school basketball. Ken will be at East Lincoln with myself, and we'll have Shelby basketball on WOHS. Friday night baseball as well. Stay tuned on Facebook and Twitter for the announcements of the games and on KTCBroadcasting.com.